Okay, so this is Lashitsky back here with part 2 of my Royal Rumble video, the actual match. So we started things off. The first two entrants were CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. So that was interesting. I thought it was gonna be CM Punk and Wade Barrett, kind of Nexus core thing, but it wasn't. You had to start off with all the members of the Nexus, all the members of the core brawling it out, and I was like, can we not see this at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, please? Like, I'd like to see a half-decent match instead of like Nexus and core brawling it out before the match even starts. So they finally got them all to the back. Bryan and Punk started out. They both went a solid, I think at least a solid 20 minutes. I don't feel like going through all the entrants and all the eliminations. I put a list of all the entrants in the match by their order in the description box. And you'll notice that most of the main card guys and all the like legit like superstars on the roster really only started coming in at like number 20 or 20, like at 21 or 22. John Cena didn't come in until 22, so I'd say Booker T was the first like to start the chain. But yeah, so this is pretty much the story of the Rumble. Nexus eliminates the first quarter of the roster, first quarter of the participants. Cena eliminates the next quarter, and then you just get the actual match with like 10 or 11 guys. It was pretty much yeah, Nexus came in like it was good to start, but it was all like jobbers at the beginning. Like you had like you didn't get your main card guys until the very end. Like let's look at this. Like Cena didn't come until 22. Kingston was at 26. Swagger was 27. Sheamus 28. Mysterio 29. Wade Barrett 30. Dolph Ziggler 31. Diesel 32. Drew McIntyre 33. Big Show 35. Alberto Del Rio 38, Randy Orton 39, and Kane 40. So that's 13 guys right there that all didn't come in until halfway through the Rumble. You had guys like Punk at the start, and you had like Booker T. Well, like Booker T was like in the middle too, and you had like there's really nobody there that was like credible at the beginning. John Morrison was in there, but that was really it. It was really Nexus running the whole thing till about like the 20th. The Nexus ran it till Cena came in, because you had a boatload of like 8 or 9 guys in there at once. I mean, the odd like Bryan would eliminate the odd guy, and like dibiase would eliminate a few guys, but it was the Nexus eliminated 7 straight guys, because you had Punk in there, and then you had Harris came in at 9. McGillicutty came in at 13, Otunga at 15, and Ryan at 20. So your 4 guys are all in there before, like, around the halfway point. So the Nexus eliminated 7 guys. Then Cena came in at 22 and cleaned house and eliminated everyone from the Nexus. And then Cena eliminated, like, 7 guys right after that. Like, the Nexus got taken out, and then Cena eliminated, like, Tyson Kids, Heath Slater, all the members of the Nexus, like, so he cleaned house there. And then that's when you actually started getting competition in there, was when Kofi Kingston came in and Jack Swagger and all your main event or like more credible superstars came in at the very end. Like, I mean, there's been a lot of people, I've had a few comments in my first part, people saying like, one viewer in particular saying he doesn't mind like all the newer guys coming in and fighting, and I don't mind it either. I don't know. I just feel like you have to have a good blend. I don't really think they branched things out well enough. I think that they had too many vets in at the end. They didn't have enough young guys in at the like. Oh, I mean, they had a few. They had Wade Barrett and they had like Alberto Del Rio, but I don't know. I feel like they could have branched things out so there was a good mix. I don't think they mixed it in enough. Like, I think they had too many jobs at the beginning. I think they didn't bring in all the credible guys to the very end, and I don't think they spread out very well. And they wasted some of their credible superstars. Like, Sheamus was hardly in there at all. Like, and I was hoping Triple H would come back. He never came back. I was hoping Christian would come back. He never came back. You had Booker T and Diesel, well, Kevin Nash both come in, and they barely lasted in the match at all. Like, Booker T got, like, one of the biggest pops of anybody, but he hardly lasted in the ring at all. Diesel or Kevin Nash was barely in there at all either. And Sheamus was hardly in there. John Morrison was hardly in there, who I thought John Morrison was going to win the whole thing, and he was hardly in there at all. You had... who else? Jack Swagger was hardly in there at all. Even like Kane was the last entrant, and he usually like solid. He usually makes it to like top 5. He eliminated like one guy. He was in there for less than 5 minutes. before Rey Mysterio eliminated him. So, like, he was hardly in there at all either. And, like, Drew McIntyre had a pretty bad show, and the Big Show was hardly in there at all either. And, like, I thought it was going to be the next of the core fighting out at one point, but before Barrett even got in the ring, Justin Gabriel got eliminated at number 3. And then Heath Slater got eliminated at 25 by Cena. So before Barrett even gets in the ring, Slater and Gabriel are already gone. So it's just Jackson and Barrett. So that was kind of weird, but I didn't really have a problem with it. It was interesting that Ezekiel Jackson came out to his own music and not the Core's music, so just something interesting there. But yeah, my favorite part of the match, which is easily the coolest thing of the whole match, was when John Morrison was got thrown over. Like, he was on the outside, he got pushed down, but he is parkour training, unbelievable. One of, if not the sickest thing I've ever seen in any Royal Rumble match. He gets pushed off, jumps, lands on the barricade, so he's got his tippy toes, and he's holding on to the barricade, like, just by the freaking skins of his teeth, holding on by his fingertips, jumps onto the barricade, walks, tiptoes, and then just this beast, like, humongous vertical jump, lands on the stairs and gets back in the ring. It was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen. So there were some good spots, and I mean, there was some good action going on. I just think that they had Cena and Nexus, like, run the table for, like, the whole thing, which I didn't like very much. And I also didn't like how Ted DiBiase, sorry, not how Dolph Ziggler and Randy Orton both were in the main event, and they both got to participate in the Rumble too. That was pointless. Like, I think it should have been 30 and not 40, because two of those guys were, like, Booker and Nash were two guys that came and got jobbed, and, like, I mean, Booker's gonna be back, but neither of them are gonna be permanent wrestlers. Then you had Ziggler and Orton, who are both in the main event beforehand. You had Alex Riley. You had Miz's apprentice in there. Like, come on. Like, it should have been 30. I still don't think it should have been 40 guys in there. But yeah, I mean, there's some quality spots, but this wasn't really a memorable Royal Rumble at all. And, like, I know people are going to get pissed at me because they're like, oh, well, at least there wasn't, like, a vet that won, and at least there was, like, some younger guys getting to work. I never said that I hated it. I admit there was some good parts in the match, and I'm cool with, like, getting the younger guys involved. I'm cool that Wade Barrett lasted till the final four. I'm cool that Alberto Del Rio won. I do not have a problem with Alberto Del Rio winning the Royal Rumble. I just personally didn't like the fact that he really didn't do anything. He stalled. He had to have Orton push him into the match because he came in like as the next entrant after. I wish he would have been a little more active in the match. I'm not furious with the fact that he did nothing, but I would have wished that he actually had shown up and done a little bit in the match. He really didn't do anything until the very end. So, I don't know. This wasn't a memorable Royal Rumble. Like, there's some good spots. There's some, like, some interesting things happen, but I don't know. I was not hot on the Rumble this year. So yeah, give me your thoughts on what you thought of the Royal Rumble this year. This is just my personal opinion, okay? So, like, don't spazoid on me on, like, YouTube about how I'm, like, downgrading all the young stars. I want more than anything for them to push the younger stars, and I love the fact that they're pushing Del Rio and they're giving younger guys a shot at the title. I don't know. I just thought that they booked this terribly. I just thought that they booked it terribly. Some of the entrances were, like, questionable. Some of the guys that came in, I would have rather had Christian in. I would have rather had Triple H come back. Even Evan Bourne. So, yeah, I just didn't think they booked it properly. I don't think they did a very good job with some of the guys' surprise entrance. And, yeah, so, I don't know. I wasn't that hot on the Rumble. But give me your thoughts. Tell me why or why not you like the Rumble. Don't go on a rant on me about being terrible if you didn't think my view is right. This is just me talking. I'd love to hear your views, but yeah, don't kill me for it. But let me know what you thought, and I'll talk to you guys later.